The UDL in 15 Minutes logo with the text UDL in blue and tan above the words in 15 min in red orange, all within a gray bordered circular frame, followed by Zacham in a patterned dress standing on a paved walkway, smiling with trees and concrete walls in the background. Hello, and welcome to UDL in 15 Minutes, where educators discuss their experiences with UDL. I'm Louie Lord Nelson, UDL author and leader. Today, I'm talking with Zacham Kabantiok, a teacher at Wauro Jabbe Community School. Zacham is going to talk about how she and others are using UDL to bring children back to school. Welcome, Zacham.
Thank you very much, Dr. Louis. It's such an honor to be here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And thank you for your patience with the internet. So, for those listening, we've had a bit of a trial, but here we are. So, let's get started. Tell
Yeah.
me how tell me how you've learned about UDL.
Okay, so I was first introduced to UDL through the OTL project, Opportunity to Learn. So this particular project is implemented by IRC in collaboration with Plan International, Rohi, AUN, and IDP. So basically, the project focuses on addressing the challenge of out of school children in northeastern Nigeria. The region has been deeply affected by years of crisis, leaving the education system in much disarray. So, as part of my work, I was introduced and I received training on UDL, and it has opened my eyes to a more inclusive, flexible way of thinking about education. It allows me to consider the diverse needs of students, especially those who have been through traumatic experiences, and just ensure that learning opportunities are accessible to everyone. And it has also helped me understand that every learner is different and that no child is truly dumb. So I that was where I was first introduced to UDL at the OTO project.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful. So, can you describe the program where you're applying UDL? Children and a few adults gathered outside a building, one child striking a playful pose.
Okay, so the OTL program is dedicated to bringing back out of school children in northeastern Nigeria who were displaced or affected by the prolonged crisis. So many of these children have been out of school for years, and some have experienced trauma that impacts their ability to learn. So the OTL program uses an accelerated curriculum to help these learners catch up and make up for the time they lost while out of school. So basically, we use the TAAL model, as teaching at the right level model, to administer assessments to these children to first ascertain their level of knowledge before placing them in a particular class. Then, through UDL, we aim to create a learning environment that is adaptable to each student's unique need. We also integrate UDL principles in our teaching methods, allowing us to offer multiple ways of engagement with content, expressing understanding, and demonstrating learning. And the program uses their local dialects and everything around them just to make them feel comfortable and focused.
That's so important. That's wonderful. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we know that's a key part of universal design for learning. That's wonderful. So,
Yes.
let's get to a specific story. Is there a story about how UDL has impacted a specific child, for example? A smiling child in a colorful shirt holds an open book with text and goat illustrations, followed by children in a classroom writing in notebooks wearing colorful hijabs and clothing, seated close together at wooden desks.
Yes, I have a lot of stories, but the one that touches me the most is the one of my student. His name is Abdul. So Abdul stammers and he stutters a lot. So at home, he is frequently silenced and his peers laugh at him because he can't actually complete a sentence, which has caused him to lose confidence, become shy, and avoid interacting with others. When he first joined the program, he was distant, shy, and inactive in class. He does not involve himself in any group projects or whatsoever. He wouldn't answer any questions or participate in class activity. I later realized that he was quite intelligent, but held back because of his stammering and low self esteem. Now, using my knowledge of the UDL approach, especially the multiple means of action and expression, I began asking him to write down his answers, sorry, instead of speaking them. I also called him to the board to answer questions, to write down questions in front of the class. So over time, with constant encouragement, kind words, and applause from me and his classmates, he became more active in class. I made it one of my core things that during group projects or classwork, I made sure that Abdul was the one taking notes or recording scores for a particular group project. Now, this will require him to interact with his peers to get the correct information, which gradually improved his social engagement because he would have to interact with his peers to get what they are doing. Now, while Abdul hasn't completely overcome his challenges yet, it is a work in progress. I've seen him transform from a shy, withdrawn child to a more confident, happy student, eager and ready to learn, all thanks to the principles of UDL. And this is just one of my many stories that I've experienced, and it is incredibly rewarding to be part of the solution that positively impacts the children's lives.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I'm thinking about the fact that these are children, as you said, in Northeastern Nigeria, who you're bringing back to school. And it's so key for someone like Abdul to feel secure and safe and that he can be an active participant in learning so that he will stay in school. It's just so lovely to hear, and I'm assuming that's part of the goal is to help Abdul stay in school.
Yes, yes, that's the goal.
Fabulous. So, how do you keep up your learning about UDL? A group of smiling children with colorful hijabs, holding worksheets and pink backpacks, giving thumbs up to the camera, taken by Zacham, who's wearing a black cap.
Okay, so at the OTL program, we have a regular practice of meeting once a month with our colleagues, just a little cluster of 10 to 12 educators. So these sessions are an opportunity for us to refresh ourselves on UDL principles. We share challenges that we encounter and we brainstorm on solutions. It's a space where we support each other and ensure that we are all staying true to the approach. In addition to that, after every school year, we participate in a week long refresher training where we have a master trainer who reviews us on the UDL practices and updates us on any new insights. So basically, that's how we keep on learning about UDL.
That's so wonderful and that's so important because you have other people that you're connected to, other educators you're connected to. Everyone doesn't feel like they're alone in doing this.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming you share stories with one another. Do you share how you've seen practices work in the classroom? A group of children, some wearing colorful hijabs, with one holding a pink bag displaying logos and text.
Yes, yes. Basically, that's what we do. We share a lot of stories because interacting with these children who have experienced the whole trauma and crisis firsthand, most of them are usually resistant and all. So we have a lot of stories to tell, success stories and then challenges that we still encounter. So there are a lot of stories that we share during the sessions.
That's wonderful. I wish I could be a fly on the wall. I'd love to hear all of those stories.
Don't worry, when you have the opportunity to come down to Nigeria, we'll invite you to
Ah,
one of our sessions.
absolutely. That is a goal of mine, then. Right there. I've stated it to the world. That is a goal of mine. To come and to listen and to hear the stories. So, in line with this, because you're talking with other colleagues, UDL helps us shift the way we support our learners and make sure that their needs are being met. It's this powerful tool in shifting mindset. So, for example, seeing that a student like Abdul can perform academically if we just give him some other ways to express himself. So, have you seen this kind of mindset shift in other educators? And is there an example you can share? Children reading books while sitting together on a blue mat.
Yes. So basically, like we here in Africa, Nigeria specifically, the type of school learning system that we have does not really give us the opportunity to express ourselves in a different way. So most of us grew up knowing just the normal paper and pen examination. Like that's the only way to test a child academically. So I have a colleague, we share a class together. So she's adamant to that particular mindset, if a child cannot write, if a child cannot express himself in pen and paper, then he's dumb. Yeah, he's not smart. But after the UDL, after the whole UDL training, it was hard for her to move on, yeah, to let go of that mindset. But then seeing that I let go and I picked up, I embraced the UDL approach and I used it on the kids. And she saw that there were changes in those children. She also adopted it. There was a mindset shift in her. Like right now, I can tell you that she's actually even embracing it more than I because
Ah,
it has just been wonderful. She does it all the time. Like ever since she started and then she saw the results, she just cannot stop. It's all she does all the time. So, yeah, I've seen that. The mindset shift.
children in a classroom writing in notebooks, wearing colorful hijabs and clothing, seated close together at wooden desks. That's perfect. That's perfect. So then, specifically, she's moved away from the pen and paper approach. And so she's shifted to different ways to let the students really share what they know. And then is she also using more like representation examples for her students?
Yes, yes, she is. So basically, what I do before she started, what I do is I don't just let my students, my learners, express themselves in pen and paper. I give them projects, take home assignments, go and do it on your own, the way you feel pleased to express the particular assignments given to you. They use what is around them to create representation. Some of them come to class to sing and tell stories about this particular assignment. So seeing that she has also adopted this different ways of letting the children express themselves, through songs and stories and representations and all.
Fabulous. Fabulous. So I just have one more question. The teaching at the right level, and I understand you all use the assessment to help place them within a class. Do they take that assessment every year, or is that assessment just one time?
Okay, we take the assessment 3 times. We have the baseline, we have the midline and the end line. The baseline, that's we while we are taking them on, before we place them in a particular class, just to know their level. And then the midline, we take that, we give that to them just to be sure that there's actually progress. And then the end line, we use that to assess the whole program.
If a child were to show that they really had exceptional growth at the midline, would they change classes, or would the teacher change the level of instruction that student is receiving? Or is it still they stay in the same class?
They still stay in the same class. It's just at the midline, it's just for us to assess and know that yes, we are actually progressing. And now at the end of the year, when the end line is being taken, children that has done exceptionally well are moved to the next level, and those who still have work to be done remain in that level, and then we continue with them all over again.
I see. Okay. All right. What I'm reflecting on is with UDL, we're hoping that we see students advance more quickly. And so, possibly, maybe in the future, if students are actually doing exceptionally well, then who knows? Maybe they will be advancing more quickly. But that's further conversations. But this is a great opening to that conversation. And for those who are interested in having more of that conversation after listening to the podcast, I hope they're willing to reach out because I think we could do some more thinking that would benefit even more learners. Zacham wearing a blue floral shirt and blue jeans, sitting against a gray background, followed by screen captures of www.theudlapproach.com, followed by the UDL in 15 minutes logo. But this has been so wonderful, Zacham. I really appreciate it. You have given so many in the world a better understanding of what education can be like and experiences that you're having in Nigeria and how you are benefiting so many learners. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Louis. It's such an honor to be here to share my experiences and knowledge with everyone out there. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, for those listening to this podcast, you can find supplemental materials like an image montage with closed captioning, that montage with audio descriptions, a transcript, and an associated blog at my website, which is the udlapproach.com/podcasts. And finally, if you have a story to share about UDL implementation for UDL in 15 minutes, you can contact me through udlapproach.com. And thanks to everyone for your work in revolutionizing education through UDL and making it our goal to build learner agency.